Hi everybody! So good to see you again. Today we'll be watching the crime and COVID in London. I heard about this video a lot. I think it's the one of the times when the crimes are increasing or decreasing due to the COVID situation overall in London with an Indian fellow. Let's take a peek what's happening in London. Staying so safe in India, मैं आशा करती हूँ कि आप सब इस कोरोना टाइम में स्वस्थ होंगे. Let's watch together.
बिकॉज पॉपुलेशन दुनिया ते बहुत ज़्यादा हो गई सी इस करके गवर्नमेंट ने सोचा कि कोई शुरू करो ते उड़ाओ लोगों ਨੂੰ
Crime and COVID are on the rise in London's Little India.
There's cultural issues, there's religious issues, there's international politics, and it's poor.
This West London suburb is home to one of the largest Punjabi communities outside of India.
There's a mistrust, perhaps, of authority and the state.
ਡਰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ ਬਸ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਦਾ ਚੱਕਰ ਇਮੀਗ੍ਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਦਾ ਚੱਕਰ ਨਾ ਪੈ ਜਾਵੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਔਖੀ ਹੈ ਇੱਥੇ
Oh,
ਇਲੀਗਲ
the
ਲਾਈਫ
people look so
At
scary.
various points during the pandemic, Southall had some of the highest COVID rates in the UK, and government distrust is making it worse.
Sucks.
The rumours are that if you take the vaccine, what's going to end up happening is this is a big government conspiracy to get rid of all the illegal immigrants.
Someone did some black magic power, also some negative power inside your body.
I try my best to avoiding and depending on any hospital treatment.
As London battles to contain the coronavirus, authorities are at a loss at how best to protect this immigrant community
Yeah, because
that's
like it's very
incubating the
harmful
virus
for the whole
and evading
economy and
detection.
everything.
In
This
बुरा हाल
corona
है सब
situation. And like obviously for the people too. Like even though we are taking the vaccine, it doesn't work that much actually. Like
So COVID specifically,
It's mutated
areas like
so
Southall, a lot of people
fast.
are very much on the breadline. You've got multiple families living within very small dwellings just because that's all they can afford. A lot of rental accommodation that maybe isn't up to the standard that it should be. A lot of people that have come here don't speak English very well, so they need to be around a community that they can communicate with. Typically, these guys are on 0-hour contracts, maybe working in construction. There's no furlough scheme that applies to them. So a lot of people are here illegally, and they're still humans and they still need food and shelter. And because they're not legal residents in this country, they're definitely falling within the cracks.
ਇੱਥੇ ਆਇਆ ਤੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਹੁਣ ਜਾ ਕਰੋਨਾ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਤਾਂ ਕੰਮ ਕੁਮ ਹੈ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀਗਾ
yeah, that's
ਇੰਡੀਆ
also
ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ
very
ਤਾਂ ਮਰਦੇ ਆ
scary.
ਉੱਥੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਕੋਲ ਕੋਈ
But you
ਪ੍ਰੋਪਰਟੀ
cannot get
ਨਹੀਂ
a job. Like
ਸਮਝਦੇ ਆ
how can you live by
ਤੇ
then?
ਬੱਚੇ ਭੁੱਖੇ ਮਰ ਜਾਣੇ ਆ
ਉਹ ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਦੇ ਭਾਣੇ 'ਚ ਰਹੀਏ ਤੇ ਸਭ ਕੁਝ ਮਤਲਬ ਨਾ ਕੀ ਆ ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ 'ਚ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ ਬੰਦਾ ਸਿੰਘ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿਤੇ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਹੀ ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ 'ਚ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਢਹਿੰਦੀ ਕਲਾ 'ਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ.
So I think there's a really distinct correlation between skepticism of any message that the government puts out, especially kind of the COVID side of things and vaccines especially. There's definitely skepticism from people just because they fear what the government's agenda may be.
Government distrust is deep-rooted here. Punjabis began arriving to work in Southall's factories in the 1950s in response to Britain's post-war recruitment drive.
In this country, in 15 or 20 years' time, the black man will have the whip hand over the white man.
But as the immigrant population grew, so did racist
Yeah, that was
attacks
a big
and discriminatory policies,
announcement.
which provoked riots in the streets of Southall in the 70s and 80s.
So it looks so scary.
Southall's got some of the lowest drug prices in the United Kingdom, primarily because we're so close to Heathrow. Don't even know what cell it's in. Uh-huh. Here you come. So police were called to an address last night by a member of the public, and as a result of that, officers have found a cannabis grow house, and this is the crop from that. As you can smell, it's really strong. Cannabis grow houses continue. That hasn't changed as a result of the pandemic. So when the pandemic first hit, we were catching more of our drug dealers with drugs on them.
It's
Not
too
necessarily
much,
just
like
cannabis, but
marijuana,
also
but-
Class A. So they were coming out of the house loaded
But
with
that
more
comes
product
out
to
actually
sell
with the
more
pandemic.
quickly.
Like people freak
Southall at one
out.
point, for about a week, had some of the highest COVID infection rates in the country. So locally, we had to do something where we knew this was a massive driver for that. There is a rough sleeping problem on this estate. Right, let's go and have a look. Hello.
Yeah, and there are like so many people are becoming
Right, just
homeless
keep your
in
hands
this
away from
time.
there.
Like
he's got a crack pipe down there.
Whoa.
You are going to research under the misuse of drugs.
No, like being a
Stand up
policeman is like really a hard task.
Brown Rizzler and white Rizzler, white
Whoa.
or brown. White crack cocaine, brown heroin. These glass pipes.
Yeah, what you can
metal foil,
expect.
off the Brillo pad, put it in the end, put your class A on that, smoke it. You buy those glass pipes for £1 or 50p in the industrial estate we just driven through. That's somebody who's using class
Because
A
it's so
drugs.
cheap, they
So
have
just
so
from an officer
much
safety
of
point
this.
of view, I don't want to get stabbed just with a screw like that, because that's still going to hurt and it's still going to cause a puncture into you. So we asked him if he had any sharps on him. He said no, but that's in his bedding. If that was drawn across your face or shoved into your eye, that is going to cause a police officer a real serious injury, isn't it? So all the cigarette lighters, I don't smoke. I know some people who do. They only normally carry one lighter. He's
too
got
much.
lots of lighters
Way
because
too much.
smoking drugs uses a lot of gas and they get really hot and they burn and they break. Because of the pandemic, he shouldn't be here anyway. But we, the police, have got no powers to pick him up and put him into accommodation. That is not our job. So he hasn't got Class A drugs on him. The outcome is he's going to stay where he is. He's not under arrest. I've worked here for 10 years, just in Southall. It's very deprived. There's cultural issues, there's religious issues, there's international politics, there's language issues.
No, it's like
and
very
there's
difficult
a
to
big
deal with
migrant
the
community.
homeless now
It's
in
well
Corona.
documented, unfortunately, with sheds in beds. So that's immigrants being exploited by, let's call them rogue landlords.
Like they're not
That
into
is a
like all
massive
those
problem still in
rules.
Southall.
They're just doing like everything against.
Since 2013, Ealing Council has
And they'll
investigated
never
over
like spend their
2,000
money on
illegal
masks or
dwellings,
something. They have
which
like
they estimate to have at least
to
doubled
make
the
better
area's
deals
population.
with drugs and
ਐਸ
all those
ਕਮਰੇ ਦੇ
kind
ਵਿੱਚ
of
ਸਾਨੂੰ
things.
ਮੇਬੀ
Alcohol.
ਅਰਾਊਂਡ ਸਾਲ ਕੁ ਹੋ ਚੱਲਿਆ ਇੱਥੇ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ ਇਹ ਘਰ 6 ਬੈੱਡਰੂਮ ਦਾ ਵਾ ਤੇ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ 2 ਫੈਮਲੀਆਂ ਰਹਿੰਦੀਆਂ ਵਾ ਤੇ ਬਾਕੀ 3 ਜਣੇ ਸਿੰਗਲ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਬਸ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਰ ਇੱਕ ਮੁੰਡੇ ਨੂੰ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗਾ ਸੀ ਇੱਥੇ ਲਾਗੇ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ ਵਾ ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਇੱਕ ਜਣੇ ਨੂੰ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਚ ਫਿਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਾਰੇ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ
like
ਮਤਲਬ
it's
5-6 ਜਣੇ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਸੀ
also
ਸ਼ਾਇਦ
very
ਇਹ ਚੀਜ਼
popular
ਤੋਂ
that,
ਡਰਦੇ
like,
ਹੋਣ ਕਿ
once
ਸਾਡਾ ਕੋਈ
one
ਇਮੀਗ੍ਰੇਸ਼ਨ
person
ਕੋਲੇ
in the
ਕੁਝ ਮਤਲਬ
household
ਡੇਟ ਆਫ ਬਰਥ ਨਾ ਜਾਵੇ ਨਾ
gets
ਕਈ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਹੁੰਦੇ
COVID,
ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ
then
ਮਤਲਬ
the other ones are also gonna
ਜਿੱਦਾਂ
have.
ਟੂਰਿਸਟ ਆਏ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਫਿੰਗਰਪ੍ਰਿੰਟ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਫਿਰ ਡਰਦੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਵੀ ਸਾਡਾ ਐਡਰੈਸ ਵਗੈਰਾ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਤਲਬ ਵੀ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਅਸੀਂ 2 ਜਣੇ ਹੀ ਆ ਇਸ ਘਰ 'ਚ ਬਾਕੀ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਕੋਲੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਲੀਗਲ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਇਹ ਘਰ ਲੈਂਡਲੋਰਡ ਨੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਰੈਂਟ ਤੇ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਵਾ ਉਹਨੇ ਗਾਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਵਾ ਪਰ ਜਾਣ ਪਹਿਚਾਣ ਦਾ ਕਰਕੇ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਤਾਂ ਕਰਕੇ ਫਿਰ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਤੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਮੰਨ ਲਓ ਲੈਂਡਲੋਰਡ ਉਹਦੇ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਰੈਂਟ ਵਾਲੇ ਕੋਈ ਘਰ ਛਡਾਲੂਗਾ ਫਿਰ ਤੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਮੂਵ ਹੋਣਾ ਹੀ ਪੈਣਾ ਹਨਾ
Illegal immigrants have overcome harrowing journeys to reach the UK, but when they arrive, the reality is very different to what they expected.
ਤਕਰੀਬਨ 2010 ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਆ ਮੈਂ ਏਜੰਟ ਦਾ ਪਤਾ ਕੀਤਾ ਮੈਂ ਤੇ ਮੇਰੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਨੇ ਘਰੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਗਰੀਬ ਹੋਣ ਕਰਕੇ ਵੀ ਪਤਾ ਵੀ ਇੰਗਲੈਂਡ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੰਮਕਾਰ ਵਧੀਆ ਚੱਲਦਾ ਫੇਕ ਪੈਸੇ ਦਿਖਾ ਕੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਵੀਜ਼ਾ ਲਵਾਤਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰ ਲਈ ਉਹਨੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਕੋਲ 12 ਲੱਖ ਰੁਪਇਆ ਯੂਰਪ ਦਾ ਲੈ ਲਿਆ ਅਸੀਂ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੁਝ ਮੁੰਡੇ 8 ਜਣੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਪਲੇਨ ਰਾਹੀਂ ਰਸ਼ੀਆ ਆ ਗਏ ਉੱਥੇ ਪਹੁੰਚਣ ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਪਾਸਪੋਰਟ ਲੈ ਲਿਆ ਵੀ ਇੱਥੋਂ ਭੱਜ ਬਣਾ ਸਕੇ ਨਾ ਬੰਦਾ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਤੰਗੀ ਦਾ ਸਾਹਮਣਾ ਕਰਨਾ ਪਿਆ ਜੀ ਕਰੋਨਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੰਮ ਦੀਆਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਮੁਸ਼ਕਲਾਂ ਆ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਕੰਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲ ਰਿਹਾ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਰੈਂਟ ਵੀ ਦੇਣਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹਰੇਕ ਚੀਜ਼ ਆਪਣੀ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਦਾ ਵੀ ਸੋਚਣਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਉੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਪੈਸੇ ਭੇਜਣੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਕੋਲ NHS ਨੰਬਰ ਮੰਗਦੇ ਹੀ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਗੈਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਇਲਾਜ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਥੋੜਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਡਰ ਗਏ ਕਿਤੇ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਐਕਸ਼ਨ ਨਾ ਲੈ ਲਵੇ ਤੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇਲੀਗਲ ਰਹਿਣਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਮੁਸ਼ਕਲ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਜੀ ਇੱਥੇ ਫੇਕ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਉਦਾਂ ਉਹ ਥੋੜੀ ਬਹੁਤੀ ਹੈਲਪ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਜੀ ਇੱਥੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ 'ਚ ਕਹਿ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਜੀ ਝੋਲਾ ਚੱਕ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਜੀ ਪੈਸੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਚਾਰਜ ਕਰਦੇ ਜੀ ਮਜਬੂਰੀ ਕਰਨ ਇਲਾਜ ਕਰਾਉਣਾ ਪੈਂਦਾ
Like treatment now, it's like the most important thing ever.
I have encountered a lot of vaccine hesitancy in my patients, and it actually worries me because the patients who I am most concerned about that will do badly with COVID are the same group who just don't want to engage in conversations about the vaccine. You know, hospitals were always full of people dying, but it wasn't like this before. It wasn't young people who were fit and well, who we didn't have anything to offer. There's a mistrust, perhaps, of authority and the state. There is a feeling that people are trying to get your details and they'll say it's medical help, but then suddenly everyone in your family will receive a knock on the door. I think there's a fear that the healthcare service is in cahoots with the immigration services. It's a population that's not got great health literacy and has missed out on certain public health messages. There's a kind of gossipy village sometimes, like a casualness about it. You could call it magic, you can call it faith. I do see people who just trust in something else that isn't this model of healthcare that we're conveying
like we
in a
all
hospital.
should take vaccines when
When
it's like
residents of
possible
Southall
to
feel
like
distrustful of
protect
Western
the whole
medicine, they
popularity.
turn to community faith healers who are only too willing to offer their services.
Like at first I also didn't want to take, but like it's to protect like everyone, the family, especially friends, everyone that you have
Hello,
around.
What do you want from brother?
I've been having a lot of anxiety and things, and I was thinking, could I get a reading or something to help me with my problems?
Tell me your right hand.
Are you doing reading?
Yes, sir. I will tell you everything. Sometimes
Yeah,
you
that
get
was
that,
always like amazing for
feeling
me. The
negative
reading
feeling.
from hand. Wow.
When you're sleeping, you can't sleep very happily.
Yeah.
Someone did some black magic power, also some negative power inside your body.
Oh God, okay.
Someone they did some negative prayer. They are not good people. Who they did, their jealousy, their enemy. We have to remove this, brother.
How do we remove it?
We have to do some bad removal prayer. Whatever I need your photo, keep it in my prayer place. I'll send it inside your body, some positive energy. Whatever you feel inside your body, the negative, I'll remove outside. Out, I'll
That's
remove
also
out. After, it's gonna feel all positive. If you're okay, I'll do it, but it's gonna take some cost to do this.
Well, okay, what's the cost?
£500.
Oh, so what does the £500 cover?
I will buy the things.
You're gonna buy things?
Yes.
What things are you buying?
I'll buy 201 lemons.
Okay.
201 lemons.
That's a lot.
Flowers.
Flowers,
You understand?
okay. Yeah.
Some things, black magic, remove things.
When pressed on COVID and the vaccinations, they had this to say.
But you take the vaccine if you want to take vaccination. Not now. When I'll clear this all, I'll tell you the time you take that is good for you.
Oh, okay, you can tell him when to take the vaccine after you clear everything.
Yes.
Okay.
Which month you take the vaccine, I'll let you know. If you not clear this, I'm telling to you, it is very dangerous. You think about it outside, and take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, think and let me know.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Panditji. Thank you.
No, but like so many people got depression due to the like are struggling with
Don't get
like
me
so
wrong,
many
there are some
problems
people
now.
within the Hindu
Mental
religion,
problems.
some pundits that do good stuff, but there's more bad than there are good, and they just want the money, and they will tell you what you want to hear, and boom. If I ever saw them, they'd be sorry. I promise you. You know, a lot of these, they happen behind closed doors. There's a lot of undercover ones that are going on. My name is Jaspal Sandhu, street name Injection. I am a ex-criminal, ex-gangster, rehabilitated. I was involved in every single thing that you could possibly think of. I'm talking murders, drugs, kidnappings, blackmail, firearms, money laundering, you name it. I've spent a good 20 years of my life kidnapping people and hurting people, torturing people. You know what I mean? You know, like cutting fingers off and cutting people's ears off and shit. And like, you got to make enemies across the way. You're not going to have people that are going to be saying, "Oh, he's a really nice guy. You know, he cut my ear off last time." You know.
During the pandemic, Injection has seen crime patterns changing radically to adapt to a new normal.
A lot of these drug addicts, how they used to make their money is they used to walk in and out of these shops that were open on the Broadway. They'll steal something and then they will sell it literally the next shop down. What's happened is everything's closed. There's nothing for them to steal. So now they've all started breaking into houses. So they will sneak into your house while you're in bed, sleeping. 70, 80 houses that have been broken into.
That's really a
while
lot
they're
and
sleeping.
it's very
They've woken
dangerous.
up in the morning and everything's lying all over the place. The other thing is catalytic converters. You could go mark your car up, you could go in the shop. Before you picked your item up and paid for it and come out, your catalytic converter's gone.
Injection knows from first-hand experience that during desperate times, people will do desperate things.
There's so many theories out there that one person will send it and it will spread like wildfire. They said, I think it was malaria tablets. If you took these tablets, your corona is gone. So every single shop here that was selling malaria tablets was out. I remember coming to this chemist here, and
people
I
want to
queued up here for about
protect
an hour and a
themselves
half.
as fast
I
as
had to
possible.
force the
but,
guy, I had
like,
to stick it on him.
you
I
shouldn't
said,
believe
listen,
everything.
I said, I want boxes now, I want 3 boxes. He's like, brother, I ain't got any. I said, listen, I'm gonna come over that counter, I said, I'm gonna beat you, yeah? I said, I want 3 fucking boxes. I was just worried about my parents, you understand? But this is what I mean, innit? It's just like, I didn't know how much of it was true. I'm getting messages from family members. My mum and dad are telling me, get this malaria tablets because it gets rid of coronavirus.
One of Europe's largest Sikh communities is working to feed local homeless and unemployed people in a massive food drive which started at the beginning of the pandemic.
So now we have entered the Langar Hall, where you can see it's very quiet due to lockdown. These are all the langar, so the rotiyan prashad that are
it
cooked.
looks so tasty.
And we pack 2 in a roll, so 2 per bag. And this will now go out to the back where there's takeaway, so the takeaway langar for the community. Selfless service is food for the soul. You feed your appetites every day. So how about feeding
they're
your soul
doing a really good
by
job.
helping others and caring for others?
That's very
I've
lovely.
been blessed with this gift where I'm able to connect spiritually to my Guru and to hear and listen to
I
what
love the
Guru
view of the
tells us. He
temple.
says everyone is equal, everybody treated the same, despite who you are, where you come from. And this is the beauty
That's
of
really beautiful,
Sikh
yeah.
values, equality. We are all one.
The pandemic,
That's
along with
true.
cultural factors and poverty, has
We should
created a mental
support
health
if we can.
crisis in an at-risk population, causing drug addiction to skyrocket.
ਮੈਨੂੰ ਮੈਂ ਨਵੀਂ ਸੀ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਨਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕੁਝ ਪਤਾ ਉੱਥੇ ਮੁੰਡਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮਾਲ ਪੀਂਦਾ ਸੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਹੋ ਗਈ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਬਸ ਉਦੋਂ ਤੱਕ ਕੰਮ ਖਰਾਬ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਸਰ ਮਾਲ ਪੀਣਾ ਪੈਸੇ ਬਣਾ ਮਾਲ ਪੀਣਾ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਕੋਵਿਡ ਸੀਗਾ ਰੋਡਵੇ ਵੀ ਬੰਦ ਸੀਗਾ ਸ਼ਾਪਾਂ ਬੰਦ ਸੀਗਾ ਲੋਕ ਬਾਹਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਫਿਰ ਪੈਸੇ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਬਣਾਉਣੇ ਆ ਸ਼ਾਪਾਂ ਹੀ ਬੰਦ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਸ਼ਾਪਲਿਫਟਿੰਗ ਕਰਨੀ ਆ ਫਿਰ ਡੀਲਰਾਂ ਦਾ ਸਮਾਨ ਲੁਕੋਇਆ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਕੱਢਣ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ ਇਹਦੀ ਅਗਲੇ ਨਾਈਫ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਰ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਤੇ ਮਰ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਇਹਦੇ ਬੰਦਾ ਉਹਦੇ ਕੱਪੜੇ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਵੀ ਭੱਜ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਇੰਨਾ ਬੁਰਾ ਹਾਲ ਆ ਸਾਊਥ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੈਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸੀ 1 year ਤੋਂ ਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਮੈਂ 7 year ਤੋਂ ਮੰਗ ਰਹੀ ਹਾਂ no money no clothes no food no shoes no sleeping
It's so fucking sad
3 weeks and I'm walking
that it like
alone.
happens to the people that are so close by to you.
ਇੱਕਦਮ ਮੈਂ ਥੱਲੇ ਫਲੋਰ ਤੇ ਡਿੱਗ ਗਿਆ 2-3 hours ਮੈਂ ਜਦੋਂ wake up ਹੋਈ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਮੈਂ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਆ because no home no house ਮੈਂ ਸੁਣਿਆ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਉਹ ਕਰੋਨਾ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਲਾਉਣਾ ਟੀਕਾ ਲਾਉਣਾ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕਰੋਨਾ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਆ ਮੈਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਲਾਉਣਾ because population ਦੁਨੀਆ ਤੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਹੋ ਗਈ ਸੀ ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਨੇ ਸੋਚਿਆ ਕਿ ਕੋਈ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰੋ ਤੇ ਉਡਾਓ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਲੱਗੀ ਸਮਝ ਇਹ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਦੀ ਆ ਪਰ ਲੇਕਿਨ ਇਹ ਤੋਂ ਬਚਣਾ ਤਾਂ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੀ ਆ
These conflicting viewpoints have created a perfect
government should
maelstrom,
help not to
leading
kill
to a
people
disproportionate
off.
amount of
Whoa.
deaths in this community. Despite these challenges, everyday people remain resilient and still hold hope for a brighter future.
This pandemic was the first time I saw that the values of Sikhism give strength to people who had every reason to be really scared, and that really moved me.
I've transformed, I've brought in religion, I've brought in spirituality into the work that I do. I still do the crazy stuff, but I try and do it in a good way. I try and help people.
ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਪੀਣਾ ਸਾਰੇ every single person drug ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪੀਂਦਾ ਉਹ ਦੁਖੀ ਆ ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ 100% ਛੱਡ ਕੇ ਆਉਂਗੀ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਵੀ ਆ ਕੇ ਹੈਲਪ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰੂੰਗੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ
ਫਿਰ ਖੁਸ਼ੀਆਂ ਆਉਣਗੀਆਂ ਵਿਆਹ ਸ਼ਾਦੀਆਂ ਹੋਣਗੀਆਂ ਢੋਲ ਵੱਜਣਗੇ ਬੋਲੀਆਂ ਪਾਵਾਂਗੇ ਗਿੱਧੇ ਪਾਵਾਂਗੇ ਤਾਂ ਕਰੋਨਾ ਖਤਮ ਹੋ ਜਾਣਾ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਨਾ
I hope so. It will happen soon.
ਭੰਗੜੇ ਪਾਓ
But we'll for sure have different attitude now than we did before. Like we thought that we deserve everything, but like no, like we should care about everything we have and appreciate it as much as we can. Like show love and like so much more for the people and like admire the like doctors and everything. They're like really struggling now. Wow, this video is really heartbreaking. Like it's really difficult. Like a lot of people are struggling. Like there are a lot of new drug dealers. The alcoholism also like went up. Like that's why all the cases are going up. Like it's very like in India it's like very difficult to like prevent all the people because like the popularity is like so big and like growing so rapidly. So like it's not even possible. Although like the doctors are like trying to give their best, but yeah, what can we do? What can we say? Like, they cannot like cope with all of the cases. Everything is like, even though we have the vaccine, like it doesn't, like the virus is like mutating so fast that like we cannot prevent like, you know, all the mutations. And like, even though we got the vaccine, like we are not sure whether it's like for every mutation, because for sure it's not. And like, that's really difficult actually. And I guess it's gonna take time till like all the cases will go down and everything. Like, we can prevent something, but no, not all of the things. Like it's really scary. That's why like some people, I guess, are not deciding to take this vaccine, although I think everyone should, like, if they have the opportunity, just to be more sure. But like, actually nobody's sure now. Like, it started a year ago, and like maybe it's a bit better, but like still it's like everyone is like panicking, and like, no, like it's like caused so many mental health and problems, and like it's really scary what's happening now. And like all of the people like changed actually, like their perspective, everything. Like, it's really difficult to believe that like 2 years ago we didn't have any such problems. And like, even though like we thought that we have some problems, but like this one, like it's a really huge one. It's like, you know, worldwide. Like, at first nobody thought that it's gonna be like in every country. And like, wow. Thank you for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed the video. Please take care, stay safe, that's the most important now. And bye, see you, have a nice evening, day. Like, subscribe, and comment my channel. And please let me know which upcoming videos you want to see here.